We're in the final round of the Tournament Players Championship of 1987. Sandy Lyle and Jeff Sluman both birdied 18 and are tied at 14 under. Scott Simpson and Mark O'Meara have a chance. They're both still playing 18. Greg Norman finished minus 12.
Ben Wright, let me ask you a question. At 17, do you think Scott Simpson heard the roar after the putt of Sandy Lyle's?
Kenny, I think it would have been impossible for him to have missed it. The noise was so enormous.
It looked like kind of when he hit the putt, it was just kind of a moment of a little kind of, not flinching, but it just, the disturbance, because it was so much in sync with it.
Right.
Scott Simpson now from off the green. The hole today is only 16 feet from the left side. He's got a good 50 feet to go for his chip shot. Hold down, hold down. Well, he had to go for it. He had to make a go at it. Didn't leave it short. But when you're talking about, you know, the prices that you're talking about with putts now, you're talking a big thing, because here he is. He's tied for third. And that's a big putt in itself right there to make par.
Again, the playoff hole would be back at 16, the par 5, a birdie hole. First place was 180,000, second 108,000, third 68,000. $1 million purse. That's 16. That's the par 5. That's the playoff hole.
I think the most important part of that, what we showed there, is the asterisk. 10 years exemption on the PGA Tour. Never having to qualify, worry about losing your card for 10 years. That is an entire career. And, you know, we've said before, the money, yes, take it away. Give me 10 years exemption.
That's how much the championship means. Here's O'Meara to be part of the playoff.
45 feet, I would say. Give it a go. Get it out. Gave it a go about 5 feet by. There is definitely a playoff now, Pat.
Between Sandy Lyle and Jeff Sluman.
You got a big hitter against a smaller stature of man in there, and 16 being a par 5. What edge would you give there?
Well, you'd have to give it to the big hitter, obviously.
On that hole. Crenshaw, who is 9 under, which in many years from here on would probably win this tournament many times over.
Ben had a 41 on the front. Very frustrating day for him.
He's just coming off a win at New Orleans. It's a pretty big high, and you've got to let down, but you can't let down when you play majors like this. He will not be able to putt that out because he will be standing in the line of Mark O'Meara, so he'll mark. Disappointing 75 if he makes that putt.
When we first went on the air today, I had severe doubts as to whether or not we'd be able to finish the final round today because the weather forecast was dreadful. It's been raining, but it hasn't been that bad. They haven't had to interrupt play. They did on Thursday and Friday, but not today.
Well, they've had virtually no wind at all, and of course you've seen the players. You've not seen a single player with an umbrella up. The rain has not been that bad, and if I said many times, they said a light rain, you can give me a light rain, but they'd rather play in that than play in a hard wind.
And the wind has really been negligible.
It's made a big difference at holes like 17.
There's O'Meara. That's a big putt.
Oh, just kind of just waltzed it right in there, not too much problem.
This round of 73, 13 under. That certainly will win this championship many times.
Think of the putts that Scott Simpson made under pressure. The one at 14 was brilliant.
And that was for par.
Yeah. when you get there, you've missed the green, and you say you can't, you have to chip it in to tie, you've lost your tournament, you've come so far, and all of a sudden your whole composure changes. But I'll tell you what, that's very gracious. I like that. So Simpson now will finish in a tie with Greg Norman, tie for 4th.
Crenshaw shoots 75, -9 for the tournament. Still not a bad score. The playoff will start back at 16, the par 5, between Sandy Lyle and Jeff Sluman. Sudden death in the 1987 TPC. 16th tee is very close to 18, so it didn't take long to get over there. There's a good look at the hole, the par 5, and they will start play in the playoff for the championship in just a moment. I get the impression that weather conditions can have been pretty much the same all 4 days. There were some delays early. Why would the scores be higher today?
I think because of the title, because of the reward, because of everybody was kind of holding back. People were moving back. It looked like maybe 15, 16 would win, but sometimes no one wanted to take charge until we got to the 18th hole and 2 players whang, make birdie, and they go in the playoffs.
Amazing. Let's go to 16 now.
All right, Pat, this is Sandy Lyle, who is won the right to tee off first. 497 yards. Lyle did not go for the green in 2 when they played it here about a half an hour ago. And he's playing with a jacket now as the rain has increased. But of the 2, he's by far the longest hitter.
Vern, he can hit the ball so much higher, too, than Jeff Sluman can. Hits the ball tremendously high, and it's pretty wet out there, but that's not going to do him any good at all. He's in that right staircase of mounds. No, he's all right. He's just on the corner of it.
So he'll have the option as we pull back and you get an idea of what will confront him. Now Jeff Sluman, 29 years of age. How about the courage he displayed on 18?
Unbelievable. For a guy that hadn't won, doing what he's doing right now, it's just great. Good looking swing. He's pumping some confidence right now.
That's on the left side.
I don't think there's any way these 2 guys could get there right now. It's been raining for about a half hour solid. They'll be both laying up. Wedge shot here will tell. It's a very difficult wedge shot, this 3rd shot. There's the look of the green.
Sandy Lyle and Jeff Sluman have never appeared in the playoff. Lyle is 1-3 in European playoffs. Has never been in a playoff in the United States. And Sluman, of course, if he should win today, his paycheck here would be $26,000 more than he made all of last year. And eons ahead of 1984 when he made $600.
Let's go to Steve Melnick for a second.
All right, thank you. Dean, each year we stand here and say the tournament can't get any better, and the tournament keeps getting better.
Unbelievable, 14 under, and we really had a mess to play. It rained every day, and these players, with so many players tied or within 1 shot of the lead coming in, they've just played great golf.
Don't you think, though, in a sense, the success of the Tournament Players Championship really reflects the success of the tour itself?
I think so. Of course, we've set record crowds every week, and the charities are doing better, and the players, of course, are doing better. I think golf is on the upswing and looking very healthy.
Well, looking healthy now is this playoff, Dean. Thanks a lot and congratulations.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Sluman sets his hands ahead a little bit low, but watch the tempo which he does. He takes it back in one piece, stays well on his feet for a small man like that. Does not get the parallel, but sets himself very well in the lower part of his body. Now watch how he sets the left hip down and through and staying under, let the right foot drag a little bit, and it's the same swing he's been using all day, and that's very good. Lyle's a little different. Watch the move that Lyle has just before the backswing. He'll get set here. Now watch how he kind of dips it down. Now he'll turn it, shoulder dipping down and behind the ball. It's kind of lowering it. He doesn't really turn behind it. Now he gets behind it there, sets himself, and with the swing and the straightening of the left leg, he's got to be very strong to hit it that far, but he's got a little moves in there that are a little different.
Set the 2nd shot.
Now we're back live at 16. Jeff Sluman, Sandy Lyle. Let me check that line, Gary.
No, I'm just trying to see if that's his ball. There's, what, 4 or 5 other balls out there probably at this particular point. This is just going to be a layup. great part about this hole, Vern, is this green has got a knoll running right through the middle of it. And where these guys have got to approach the wedge shot from is right against these two trees and the waste bunker that guards the left-hand side. The closer they can get it to that, the more straight approach shot they have into this where that ridge doesn't come into play. I don't know what Sandy's waiting around for. There's no group in front of him, obviously.
Nope. Now, Sluman is well out of range. He's 285 yards from the pin. So, no option here.
You can see our sign back there, CBS sign on our tower. Jeff will be aiming a little bit to the left of that. Try to get the ball right against that tree so he'll have a straight shot right down at that pin. It's right where he aimed it.
Now, that tree might come into play. Sandy Lyle was in that same spot 45 minutes ago and had to play the punch and run.
He might be back far enough where he can just throw it right over it.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing. And that's strictly a guess.
Lyle is 275 away.
Sandy plays the ball very high, so he'll probably play back away from those trees so I can throw it over it. Oh, I don't know if he's back far enough to get it over it.
Well, comparable shots for Sandy Lyle and Jeff Sluman as we are in a playoff. The first hole of sudden death here in Jacksonville, Florida in the 1987 TPC. Sandy Lyle and Jeff Sluman.
Playoff there at 16 at the TPC. In 2 weeks, CBS Sports presents the Masters from the Augusta National Golf Club. Our coverage will begin at 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday, April the 11th, and then we'll have the final round at the same time on Sunday. The Masters in 2 weeks on CBS Sports. Out to 16.
And in the fairway, Sluman and Lyle looking over their third shots on this par 5 as you look at finishing scores of other competitors here in the 87 TPC. George Burns had a 67 today, and Kurt Byron finishes at -4. Keith Clearwater had a good tournament, Gary.
He's been playing really well here lately.
And Brad Fable, who lives here in Jacksonville, finishes at 8 under. Buddy Gardner had had the only eagle on 16 today. Holed it from 40 yards off the green. Morris Satowski played well. And now Jeff Sluman.
He hasn't looked up and over. He's looking down underneath. So let's see if he's playing the ball back in his stance. It must be just going to be knocking it down. It's kind of the wrong side of the ridge.
A little more speed.
Isn't it just about where he had it before?
Sure is.